Netflix. Its two biggest competitors for our time are Facebook and sleep. Netflix is awesome. There we go. Okay. Netflix is awesome. But these are mine. These two. And, okay, maybe, hopefully. These are also mine. Growing up with a brother and sister, I remember watching Batman and Superman defeat Darkseid and all manner of evil villains. I remember consuming all sorts of cartoons and movies we could get our hands on, but kids are kids. They can't just consume, they also create. So one day, my brother, my sister, and I decide it's our turn. We're gonna make our own cartoon. Except, none of us knows the first thing about animation. So we have to start smaller, much smaller. We start with comics. A thick pencil, a thin pencil, an eraser, and some paper, and the three of us together, and we're all set. We start sketching. Dozens of colorful costumes for our heroes, scores of dastardly designs for our villains, and hundreds of ideas for the adventures our characters would enjoy. Everything was possible within the pages of our comic book because these were our characters. Before we even realized it, boredom was a thing of the past. There was never any question what we were doing after school. There was never any question what we were doing after dinner because you could find us working on our comic. Creating consumed our thoughts. It crowded our lives. Watching a movie no longer was about simply liking the film or not liking it. No, it was more important than that. Now, it was research. It was a chance to see how the masters tell a story, how action scenes should be choreographed, how dialogue plays out naturally. So, we took notes. Watching, and making became an endless cycle that we carried on throughout the rest of our lives. Now, we were only kids when we started writing, so our stories weren't that good. A mad scientist and his younger brother joining a face-off style cooking show, a time-traveling sunflower coming to our time to change the world. These stories weren't great, but they were our stories. They made our minds go. And once they were on paper, they were real. They were a piece of our mind, our soul, our passion, brought into this world by the four corners of a sheet of paper. We grew up, of course. Our stories grew up with us. They grew more exploratory, more complex, more experimental, and they grew better. Oops. That's all right, okay. It's harder now to collaborate. We live far away from each other, but even though those days of paper and pencil and after dinner are gone, we still write. Because wherever we are in life, our characters are there for us. Because life isn't always so easy. Because there were times that I walked 9 kilometers through the deserts of the Mojave to get home. There were times that we didn't have a fridge to keep our food cold. There were times that we couldn't afford television or internet at all. There were times when we didn't know what the next days had in store. But through it all, my mind was always running. Because my mind was always running. Yes. Because I could say that today, I figured out how to end that story arc. Today, I figured out how to close that plot hole in my story. How to imitate this watercolor effect in my art. How to make this mech design just right for that part. These weren't sad times, not at all. Because I knew that when I went to sleep, I had made something real. I had brought something into the world. Netflix is awesome. But consuming is only one half of what we're meant to be doing. If if you only get your happiness from what comes outside of you, then you'll have some sad days to go through. Because we can't always change our environment. We can't always make our day be perfect. But we can make, we can dream, we can do, and it doesn't matter if what we make is fan fiction of Harry Potter cast as Harry Styles, or if it's a musical about a three-legged dog named Ernesto, or an adventures of a time-traveling sentient potato. It doesn't matter what it's about. All that matters is that it gets you going. That it gives you a way to take what's in here and make it real out here. And no one, nothing can take that from you.